Hey, this is Cindy Montgenie with New Skies Nation. And if you really want to learn how to level up your life, you should be listening to the Time to Shine Today podcast with my good friend, Scott Ferguson.
Time to Shine Today Varsity Podcast Squad. It is Scott Ferguson. We are at episode 171 with my beautiful, awesome friend, Cindy Montgenie. And I know I kind of butchered that, and I apologize, Cindy, I really do. But she's a beautiful soul, beautiful human being. She's going to really dig into shaping leaders, and that's what she does. So if you're kind of feeling stuck and you want to reinvent, Cindy is your go-to person. She's with New Skies Nation. She's trilingual with fluent in English, French, and Spanish. Fantastic background, fantastic, humble servant leader. So without further ado, sit back, relax, break out your notebooks, because here comes my really good friend, Cindy Montgenie from New Skies Nation. Let's level up. Time to Shine Today Varsity Squad. It is Scott Ferguson, and I have a treat here with my neighbor to the south of me here in Florida, our version of paradise. My good friend, I'm going to say her last name once, and the rest of the time it's just going to be Cindy, but it's Cindy Montgenie, and she's with New Skies Nation, and she is all about the future is here, and is going to ask you, are you ready? Cindy is a former award-winning HP executive, is a future of work expert. So like she said, the future is here. International keynote speaker and certified executive coach. Cindy works with leaders and organizations that want to be future ready so they do not become a casualty of the disruptive digital age. Cindy has lived in Europe, Latin America, and the US, and she has the trifecta of languages, and she's fluent in English, French, and Spanish. She's a beautiful lady. She's my good friend. I'm going to have her come on here, introduce herself to the Time to Shine Today Varsity Squad. But first, Cindy, what is your favorite color and why?
My favorite color is purple.
Purple, why is that?
It's all the representation is about leadership. It's a color of leadership. It's a color of growth.
Yes, it is.
And royalty, too.
I was just going to say it's regal and royal. And one thing about purple is it's a mix, obviously, between red and blue. Yes. And blue is kind of a cool and calming, but you have to have that red side ready to go, too. So it's kind of the mix. And you are perfect for that. So, Sandy, tell us about the origins of kind of where you started from with HP Executive and worked your way into New Skies Nation.
So I'm French for the accent, also for the last name. So, but I studied my career in Mexico.
Okay.
I was doing my MBA, got the opportunity to start with HP there, starting in the manufacturing side of the company. Then opportunities within HP led me to Venezuela, Caracas, then to Mexico City. When I started, I was in Mexico, Guadalajara, then Miami. And I spent like 20 years with a lot of opportunities, changing careers, so moving from supply chain to marketing to sales to leading the largest business unit for HP and for the whole Latin America IT at this moment, growing this business unit for 20 million to 900 million in six years. So that was like a great ride. So diverse career and meeting like a lot of people, leading multicultural teams, and going through a lot of changes and disruptions because, like those big company mergers, reorganization. So it was like a fun ride.
So how did you land with HP then?
When I was doing my MBA in Guadalajara, Mexico, I had some colleagues who were doing they were not colleagues at this moment. They was like doing the MBA like me. They were part of it at HP. And they told me, you know what, there is this process. Do you want to participate? Because I loved Mexico. I didn't have a plan to come back to France and say, okay, why not? So I entered the process. And for me, it was like, because I was young, I was French. So I was thinking, okay, I'm staying like 2 years in Latin America, then I would go back home. And I stayed like 20 years and I moved like 3 times.
Oh, wow. So how did you segue then into New Skies Nation?
So 4 years ago, my 20-year ride with HP stopped because they asked me to relocate outside of Paradise, Florida, and I did not want to move. So I decided I quit and decided to go for the American dream, right?
Right.
And to launch my own company. So New Skies Nation was born out of my knowledge of working in change, disruption, understanding the power of tech and how tech was changing the way we live and we work. So for this reason, my platform is the future of work and is to help leaders and organizations be future ready and keep leveling up and having success in a forever changing world.
I love it. I love it. So at HP, you're pretty well compensated, right? You made pretty decent money with HP?
Yes.
Okay, so what did your family and people think about you, leaving HP and not taking the transfer and sticking to what your vision was? What did they think about that with you kind of leaving HP and starting New Skies Nation?
So there were like two types of people who didn't say anything, but you could understand what they were thinking, that I was crazy,
right?
That I should not. Some people were like openly, because also to be clear, I was not like 20 years old. So I was like above 40 when I made this decision. I'm not married. I don't have children.
Okay.
So like, this is like really, I was on my own. So it was like a big, big leap. And so some people didn't say anything, but they thought it. Some people told me that I was crazy. And there was like some people who supported me. I'm also a woman of faith. So for me, when I took this decision, I pray about it, right? To be sure that I was following the Lord's direction, because for me, this is my priority, to be in God's will, because wherever you are in God's will, the provision will follow. And I went through it, but it was, I get like really few people who understood my faith were like with me. And for the rest of the people, it was like super crazy.
Wow.
The decision I took.
I love it that you stuck to your laurels and just really pushed forward and leveled up, even with you could feel the doubt. It might not have been saying anything, but you could feel it, and that's fantastic that you did that. So what do you think makes a great leader?
What makes leader is really the ability to serve others, because leadership is for me about serving a vision, serving people to help everybody grow and shape a better future. And so one of the quality is humility, is to have anger, to be passionate, because you need to have a fire in your belly, because when you are a leader, you have a burden that is higher than the rest of your team. So you need to have like this self-motivation really high, and the capacity to execute and to deliver, right? Because at this moment, we could tell there is like really a vacuum of leadership in almost any area of our society, right?
Right.
Because there is a lot of talks, but you don't have really the works, the action, and the results. So also execution. So the vision, to be able to have the vision to deliver, to serve people, and to really have this passion of having something better once we live.
I love it. So they have that vision. They help guide the people through listening and through humility. I love that. I love that you said that. So if I'm out at a networking event, which I do quite a bit lately, we're still opening up some events and whatnot, and I'm listening to people that I'm talking to, what kind of things are they saying to me, Cindy, that would make them a good prospect, connection, or referral for you?
So I work with mainly two types of people. So I work with organization. So a HR manager, a diversity manager, because I have a program for women or for diversity, population leaders, minority, Black, Hispanic, and to help them position strongly for position of leadership. So diversity manager, HR manager, or business managers who wants to level up their manager or the top talent with the new skills, because also a good quality of a leader is this ability to always reinvent yourself, because you cannot stay in the past, because leadership is about shaping the future. So we'd be a great prospect. because I do conferences, leadership workshop, and coaching. And the other prospect will be an executive, a professional who wants to advance in his or her career. So we could work on career planning. I do also, one of my specialties, interview coaching, when you look for a job to get prep.
Okay.
And the other part is like to develop your leadership manager if you aspire like to grow within your company.
So Cindy, what are you doing? What are you doing right now to grow? What kind of marketing and whatnot do you do to grow your coaching business or your leadership business?
So at this moment, it's a lot of networking and networking one-to-one to be like really targeted to HR manager, business managers, and diversity managers. So I could have this connection with them and they could know me. I'm also involved in different, because at this moment, I'm not like you. I don't have yet the opportunity to do things outside. So it's like everything has been virtual. So it's to be connected to also groups of executive and to be part, right? To be able like to give back and to expand my my networking and leveraging social media like LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook.
So you're getting out there and grinding and making the introductions and meeting people, even during the whole COVID thing, which is fantastic. You've totally leveled up. So what is, if you don't mind sharing some of your secret sauce to, like if someone comes to you and you're starting to work with them in diversity or your organization, what's some of your secret sauce to help them find their blind spots where they're stuck?
So we will start with assessment. I have different type of great assessments that I'm working with a leader in assessment. So the first step is going to do those. And generally, these are great tools for people to be self-aware. And we will be able like to go deep in the blind spot.
Okay.
Then we will work on their vision, because I've realized that a lot of time people feel the frustration that they could go higher, but they are not able like really to express. So we need to work on the clarity of the vision. And then we will be working on the execution and the plan.
Love it. So when you're starting to work with somebody, they might be still in the discovery process, but you're starting to ask the questions. Is there any good question that you wish they would ask you but never do?
They would ask me and never do. This is a good one. Generally, I got like pretty all of the question, because they're asking me a lot of my background and my results. At this moment, no, I don't have.
I would know what I would ask you. Tell me about a fail. Where have you failed, Cindy?
Where have you failed? So there is like different type in my career and after as a coach. So in my career, I'm like pretty good at with people. For this reason, I became a coach. But there is like a couple of hiring that didn't go well, and I took too much time to really take them out of the team. And I think like this is a mistake that sometimes leaders we are like too long to really take out the bad apples. So this has been a failure that I've learned. And as a coach is sometimes trying to have more passion and more desire than my client to change. And at the end, throughout the coaching process, the coach is just someone to help you to be a catalyst, but we're not taking the action. So now when I sit down with someone, I try like to check for this fire and for this passion before closing the deal, because at the end it needs to be like a win-win.
They got to be coachable. They got to be coachable, right? You know, and part of being coachable is that fire and that passion. If they don't, it's not really going to go anywhere. I found with my clients that I coach, it's like that's why I get fired a lot by people that I actually coach, because I'm so passionate and they're not. And I hate to say it this way, but I kind of fire them. You know, I'm just like, hey, I'm not the right guy for you. I'm very passionate about seeing your success, and they're not. So again, what you just said, they've got to be coachable. So if you're watching Squad, if you're watching on, a YouTube replay, I mean, this woman is extremely beautiful, but she said that she's in her 40s, which she doesn't look it. But I want to go with you, Cindy, back to the 23-year-old Cindy. And we're going to go back in time and talk to her. What kind of knowledge nuggets are you giving her to help her level up or maybe shorten the learning curve and kind of blast through? The 23-year-old Cindy, what are you telling her with the knowledge you have now?
So to not be like so worried, right? Like everything will be okay. Because I took a lot of risk because at 23, I was already living in Mexico, super far away from my family and alone in a foreign country. But there was like a kind of still some fear. Mm-hmm. And to really understand that everything will be well. Like even in the times of struggle, issue, there is always, this is what I'm telling now, like after a night, even if it is a long night, there will always be a day.
There will. So we say here at Time to Shine Today, everything's finite. There's an ending to everything. Whether you're going out on a date and hope this date never ends. It's going to end. You know, in the same thing, that's why we talk about overlapping that happiness is do things that make you happy consistently. And what you just said, don't worry as much. You would tell the younger you, things were going to be okay. Bad times are going to end. They can't last forever.
Yeah. And I remember once when I was like 23, I applied for this job and arrived like I was like the last two. And I thought I got it and I didn't get it. And I remember like I cried and I thought it was like the end of the world.
Right.
And after another opportunity came and it was like one of the biggest jump in my career. Things will sometimes door close, but there is like better doors and bigger doors along the way.
That window closes, doors open. That's what God says, Yeah. So how do you want that dash remembered? That little line between your life date and your death date. How do you want Cindy's dash to be remembered?
So I really want my love and fear of God to be part of everything that I do. So not be like just like someone who have like a bumper sticker that I don't have one, but really a life that reflects my purpose. Because I do believe that everybody has a purpose, and at the end is to have like the impact of people, and that will make like the difference, because this is like what our legacy, right? Is what we've done for other people.
And you're living your legacy on a daily basis. From what I've known from you, from Berta, and then our conversations, you're living it. You're really letting that light shine. So outside of electronics, let's take our electronics out. Let's take out phones, tablets, computers, and don't say anything generic like oxygen, water, or sunlight. But what are 3 things that Cindy can't live without?
So for me, like first is my faith, like my relationship with God. Like I really hope like this will never, that I will be staying in His presence. The other is people, right?
Community, right?
Like yes, because I think like this been like so intense. It's all like social distancing, because we need people, like we are on Earth to be around people and to help each other.
I miss hugs. I really do miss hugs. Like being able to give people hugs, without them going, but what's that third thing?
And the third things will be like that. So people, and it will be like, of course, like family, because family is super important for me, my relationship with God, and the rest will be like super important. Food. I cannot eat without food.
You gotta mention some good cooking, because the 3 languages you speak, there's some good food in each one of those cultures.
Oh, definitely. If you want me to no longer have my smile and be like really bad face, take out food from me and you will see the transformation.
I love it. I love it. And so, Cindy, as we wind things down here just a little bit, we have a leveling up lightning round, okay? And you and I could talk 15, 20 minutes, but I want answers in 5 seconds with no explanation. So are you ready?
Okay.
All right. Ready? Let's level up. What is the best leveling up advice you've ever received?
The best advice is to respect everybody.
Love it.
And to not make any distinction.
Love
between title and really respect everybody.
Excellent. Share one of your personal habits that contributes to your success.
Starting my day with prayer time, spend time with God.
Love it. So other than your own website, newskiesnation.com, and of course, timetoshine.today.com, my website, my shameless plug, is there another website that you like to go to level up?
Google.com.
I know, right? I said the exact same thing on an interview. I love it. So if I'm not feeling all that great and, you know, I come to you, you know, in like, not the flavor of the month book or the book you're reading now, but if I'm in my doldrums, you're like, Fergie, read this. What book is it? Outside the Bible.
Outside the Bible.
Because I'm in the Bible every day. So, yeah.
Another great book I would recommend, if it's about leadership, I would recommend like any John Maxwell book.
Yeah.
And I think like it's open like to really any faith that really uplifting.
Okay.
In terms of book. And also what I would recommend, like when people feel like so down or not so great, is like to look outside and to be grateful.
Yes.
To really look around you and see what's going on and gratefulness.
Okay, so what is your most commonly used emoji when you text?
When I text, it's like the smile.
Smiley face. Love it. So not wisdom-wise, but physically, if you could stay one age for the rest of your life, but still continue to get wisdom and learn, physically, what age would that be?
Oh, I don't know if this is the answer, but I hope to live until I'm 120.
But what age would you want to stay physically? I'm 32. If I'm almost 50 years old, but if I could be 32, I would stay 32 for the rest of my life as long as I could still continue to learn. What age physically?
Okay, what age? I will say 40. No, 39. Okay. Before my 40, 39. Staying in 39.
I love it. So what's your favorite charity or an organization you like to give your time or money to?
So I love like to serve like to orphanages that I really have a heart.
Orphanage, love
because
it. Okay, what is the best decade of music? 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s?
I'm not good at music, but I would say maybe the 60s, but I'm really like music is not my stuff.
All 4 decades have great music. So how can we find you, Cindy?
You can find me on social media. So LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube channel. You could send me an email. You could give me a call. Go to my website. I'm super accessible.
Love it. Love it. And all of her information will be in the show notes for my good friend, Cindy. Make sure that you do go to her website and take the free assessment, and then she'll work with you on the next step. And I will personally give you an introduction to Cindy as well if you would like one. Cindy, what is your definition of a life well lived?
It's a life lived on purpose with purpose.
Life lived on purpose with purpose? Mm-hmm. I love it. I love it. And Squad, we have just had basically a free masterclass with my trilingual, beautiful friend, Cindy, where change disruption is where she accelerates. You know, the future is happening daily, and your company is going to have to move and level up with the future. And Cindy is the person to bring in to help you with that. She will remind us that leaders serve others with a vision to help and grow and shape the company or whoever maybe their leaders that are below them. You know, she also will tell you that have a humility mixed with that fire and passion to really move forward. And that's where her favorite color with red and blue kind of comes in, where, you know, you have the humility with blue, but that fire and passion with the red, they kind of blend into her favorite color, purple. You know, she's looking, if you're working with diversity or organizations where you're really looking to level up, please reach out to me so I can put you in touch with Cindy. She's going to remind us about self-awareness and also about clarity of vision. She would tell her younger self, and she's telling also the squad out there listening, to not worry, that things are finite. Things will be okay. And just overlap that happiness like we like to say at Time to Shine Today. She's going to be remembered as someone who loved and lived a life reflected on her purpose. So that, and she even ended with live on purpose, right? And and to respect everybody. And that's what Cindy does. She's leveling up her health, leveling up her wealth. She's humble, yet grateful. She's driven. She's part of our squad now. You've earned your varsity letter here at Time to Shine today. Thank you so much for coming on. I look forward to collaborating with you more in the future, Cindy.
Thank you very much, Scott, for giving me the opportunity to be with your squad today.
Yay. Talk soon. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, thanks so much for listening to this episode of Time to Shine Today podcast. Proudly brought to you by Sutter & Nugent Real Estate Excellence, who can be reached at 561-249-7266 and online at www.sutterandnugent.com. If you are a business owner or professional who would like to be interviewed on Time to Shine Today, please visit timetoshinetoday.com/guest. If you like this episode, please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you get your podcasts. There's a link in the show notes to our website. Also there, you will see our recommended resources. We hope that you will support our show by supporting them. If you like what you've been listening to, it'd be great if you could just give us a 5-star rating and tell your friends how to subscribe while you're at it. I'm your host, Scott Ferguson, and until next time, let's level up. It's our time to shine.